Do I even need these again? I don't know if I do.
Hello, Facebook. Are we here? Hello, Facebook.
My old friend.
My old friend. Facebook. Recording.
Curtain lights. This is it, the night of nights. No more rehearsing and nursing a part. We know every card by heart. Overture, curtain lights. This is it, we'll hit the heights. And oh, what heights we'll hit. On with the show, this is it.
And on with the show, on with the show, and on with the show. This is it. What is up? It's Real Town with
What's up,
John
Doc?
Tracy. Hi.
What's up, Doc?
What's happening?
Right? See, get it?
Hello. Boy, I say boy.
Boy.
Man, I miss the old Looney Tunes. Ooh,
I do too.
And if you throw that down there one more time, I ain't going to go after it.
There's some, and you know what's funny is like I think Bugs Bunny was like the first like transgender like character. Because remember Bugs Bunny
He
used
used
to
to
dress
dress
like
up
a
like
women
a woman
all the time.
Oh, he enjoyed it too.
And-
He would
he was
goof on people.
Oh yeah.
I used to love the one where he would dress up like Carmen Miranda.
Yeah, Carmen Miranda, and it was awesome. Oh my goodness!
Well, I guess baby's
loved
just
it.
gonna have to have a ham sandwich instead.
Remember the Barber of Seville?
Spirit magic helmet. Spirit magic helmet.
North winds blow, south winds blow, thunder, white wing, smog.
Spirit magic helmet.
Oh, Elmer. Oh. I think, where are the Looney Tunes? Like, what theme park are they supposed to be at? Are they supposed to be at, like, Great Adventure? No, that's
They
not.
used to be, weren't they?
They used to be.
Yeah.
They left.
What?
Now they have, I'm trying to remember now. At Great Adventure now, they have, like, new people.
Like the Animaniacs or something?
Yeah, they have something different now.
Dana Delaney.
Well, wait a second. When I went, like, 2 years ago, I got a picture with, like, Petunia Pig.
Well, that's Looney Tunes.
Yeah, but last year, I don't remember seeing any of them last year.
Have they
I'm trying to
severed
think.
ties
Or this year, I should say.
with the Six Flags universe?
I don't know. That's a question. That's a question we need to ask. Because what's the? I don't.
Well,
think,
let's ask. Who knows?
Oh,
You
wait,
know what's
they have-
going on?
I don't know.
We're taking calls. 609-807-2492. It's kind of a free for all here tonight. Again, it's Tracy, it's John, and our special guest star.
No special appearance this week.
He had to work.
He had to
They're
work.
at the Amazon.
He works
don't
hard
you
for
know?
his money.
He works hard for it, honey. I'm telling you.
He works so hard. I think since we're talking about animation, this is the perfect time
Yes.
to talk about Mr. Stan Lee.
Stan Lee.
I'm so
Yeah.
sad. I'm sad because you know how many times I had the opportunity to meet him, and you know you have to pay, and then you go to Comic-Con, and you have to wait in line, and I was always like, the last time he was where I was in the same place, I was like, oh, it's sold out, and I'm like, oh, it's sold out, and I was like, ugh. I said next time there won't be a next
No
time.
next time.
No next time. And
I didn't realize he was 95.
95,
and
man.
then 2, with all of that, because I didn't realize he was 95, all the things that he had done,
Oh, my
all the
God.
characters that he had drawn,
Insanity.
created, and so forth. I mean, I'm trying to remember, wasn't he involved in like some of the comic strips in the papers?
Yes.
Like Beetle Bailey and them years
That
ago?
was like way back in the day. Like he started out in doing comic strips, like
Right.
in the paper. I mean, it was not all that came later. I actually saw, and I'm trying to remember because I saw a documentary about Marvel, because now it's like basically it's always been there. Let's
Right.
get this. Like a lot of people are like, oh, it took off. This, blah blah blah. It's always been there.
I can remember like 45 years ago
Sure.
being comic books. I was into comic books a little. I was probably about 10, 11, 12, and then I just went off to other things.
It's always been there. It's just
Yeah,
that
I
the
remember
resurgence, it basically has a resurgence.
Well,
So,
the superhero, movies and specials and things on TV and, not pay-per-view, but like on Netflix
Right.
and all of that, Amazon Fire Stick and whatnot. There's not anything you can't see, with superheroes. I mean, even going back, now, this I don't believe was part of his little empire, but like, even growing up, the Super Friends on TV. Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice, I mean, you always had Spider-Man. I remember the Spider-Man. You remember the Spider-Man cartoons?
Of course I do. I love that. That was on Saturdays.
Yeah, we had.
I love the
forget-
Spider-Man cartoons.
It was, I think, like on either Channel 5 or Channel 11, and they were on when I was growing up in the afternoon sometime. You had the Popeye cartoons. You had Wonderama on Channel 5 with Bob McAllister. I wanted to go on that show. Almost did. Mom said no. They taped on a Tuesday.
That's a school day.
And then you had Spider-Man. You had all those cartoons. They were so cool. Batman, like the dark-ish Batman animated series. I don't know if that was that DC or Marvel.
Which one was it?
The Batman.
Batman is
animated.
DC.
Yeah.
DC. That's DC. Marvel is Iron Man,
Right.
Spider-Man, Wonder Woman. There's so many. I can't even think.
I enjoyed them all. Those early
Deadpool, which
cartoons.
is popular now. That's Marvel.
The animated.
But yeah, there's
cartoons.
DC and Marvel. Those are the two, the two big ones, and they combine a lot, like in film and stuff like that. So, Stan Lee also did all the X-Men. That's all
Right.
him as well.
Right.
There's so many. My God. And he did a cameo in all of the films. He did a cameo, and I actually posted it on my Facebook.
What up, Hitchcock?
And they did a montage. Medley would be audio, but montage of all of Stanley's all of Stanley's appearances in each film and all the different things he played, and it was he was responsible for a lot of influence in my life as a child and a teenager. And even like the Spider-Man films, the ones with Tobey Maguire, not the later ones with Andrew Garfield and that other English
Alfred
kid.
Molina was that heinous evil
Yes,
guy.
yes.
He was great, though.
Yes, I loved him in that.
Freaked me out.
Yeah,
man.
I
Like,
did.
oh, he's a good dude. Oh my gosh, he's not.
I love that. I love that film. Like those films were my favorites. I actually still own them on DVD. Believe it or not, I still have DVDs. So I still have that, but it's a big loss. But you know what? He lived a very full life. 95 is he lived a very full life. He contributed substantially, and his legacy will live on forever.
Agreed.
Yep. And his daughter actually said two things. One, he did one last cameo in the new Avengers movie.
Nice.
And you will see him in it. That was his last thing he did. And then he was working with his daughter on a brand new superhero. Called Dirt Man.
Ooh.
And she wouldn't give any other, but she said it was actually her idea. She went to her father, and her father had been working on it right up to the day before he died. So that's exciting too. So it's just, it's Stan Lee, and it's rest in peace, Mr. Stan Lee. Thank you for influencing our childhoods and teen years and adult years.
Who knew as a kid? I mean, you see these things on TV or you read them, or in comic books or on the comic strips, And again, I can remember. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I seem to remember again, like the Beetle Bailey comic strips.
Yep.
And seeing it it was always the last one, because there's a series of comic squares to make the strip, and at the last one, it was always Stan Lee. Like, oh wow, cool. I mean, who the heck is Stan? I'm 9. Who the heck is Stan Lee?
Yeah.
But every Sunday, we had to get the funnies out of the color funnies out of the paper, and that was a thing. I mean,
he had a partner, like back in the day. He had like a partner, and I can't remember his name. That was part of the documentary too. And then they separated, and I you know what? I got to watch it again so I can refresh my memory. But I mean, they were doing cartoons and drawings and sketches and animation back in the 40s and 50s.
Right.
I mean, this is. He's been around a long time.
Well, it's like all those guys, even over at Warner Brothers. Again, Chuck Jones and Friz Freeling and Mel Blanc with the voices and stuff.
Mel Blanc, yeah.
Going on all those years, and I mean, okay, I can certainly identify with the voices,
right?
But I can't draw to save my life. I mean,
no, neither can I. I can only do
I
stick
just can't.
people.
Oh,
and I'm a very
please.
artistic person. Like, that's what I say. You know, I sing, dance, acting, all that stuff. I could never
Nope.
draw. Like, that was not part of that artistic part of me. I don't know how to paint. I don't know how to draw. You know, they have those classes now. Like, you go with a group of people and you bring wine. I don't know if you've seen these. They're like painting classes. So you go and you all paint together, and then you laugh and you drink wine. So it's actually pretty funny. There's a picture. We all went, me and my friends, we went to, you know, do this painting thing. And we hold up the paintings at the end of the class. They take a picture.
Right.
My painting is so gross and like it's like, you don't understand. You see everybody else's, it's like a really nice, it was like an ocean and like you know, trees and you know, beach, I don't know, whatever it was. But theirs was like, it looked so beautiful. There's like waves and there's like palm trees. Mine looked like blue blob with green blob on top. It looked like nothing. I gotta post that picture on our Facebook because it was the worst picture, and I'm holding it up with this big smile on my face. And I look back and I go, my picture's stupid. That's not who painted that crap? It was so horrible. And I ended up tossing it in the garbage. Like, because you know, most people like, they keep it. They're like, look what I painted. No, not me. Because I literally have the paintbrush. It's like holding a fork in the left hand.
Right.
And I'm not left-handed. That's what it's like. That's what it was like.
Meanwhile, I had a friend of mine growing up, and he drew like it was, he could do it in his sleep. He came out to visit me. Oh boy, we were growing up. We were in our mid 20s, and I was out in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. And he's like, hey, I'm coming out to visit. I need this. He had been in Florida. He still is in Florida. He said, I missed the 4 seasons. I'm coming out. And it was like the beginning of October in north central Pennsylvania. And he loved it. We drove all around up in the mountains and the whole bit, and foliage and what. He says, take me someplace to eat. And I don't want to go to, like, you know, the national chain restaurant or the pancake joint or whatever, Perkins. That's fine and good, but I can do that in Florida. Take me someplace local. I said, I've got just the place. Place used to be called the Red Rooster Omelet House up on Lycoming Creek Road, the old Route 15, just north of Williamsport in Cogan Station, Pennsylvania. And the guy ran it, him and his wife ran it, and it was just a local joint, you know, and you could get breakfast and lunch there. And there was a tavern across the street. Now, back then, it's now old Route 15, but it was Route 15, the major north-south artery from New York down to Maryland, okay? And it was 4 lanes and a middle turn lane. So not real conducive for pedestrian traffic. But this old guy, his name was Mickey. That's all I knew. He would come doddering.
He's so fine.
He blew our mind.
Yeah.
It's true. He would go to the Crippled Bear Inn across the street after he had his lunch. I sound like Rob Winter. After he had his lunch.
We should have him call in one day. I
would
miss his
love
voice.
to interact with all of you telephonically.
We should have had him call on our Veterans Day because he is a veteran as
True
well. It
enough.
would have been, but we had so many people on the line. It would have been like, you know,
It would have
chaotic. But
cacophony. So here's Mickey,
Yeah.
and I don't know Mickey from that lamp, okay? But he's a character. He was probably in his late 70s, early 80s at this point. It's early October. He's got a snorkel coat on. He's got the Busby Birdwell horn-rimmed glasses, and he's having lunch. And he's flirting with the waitresses. And I'm talking to my friend, and he gives me the, shh, hold on. Don't say anything. I'm concentrating. I'm like, you're concentrating. Just shh, quiet down a second. Give me a minute. Fine. And he's studying. I mean, he's about 15, 20 feet away. And he's studying them. And for about 2-3 minutes, he's just riveted on this older gentleman named Mickey. And all of a sudden, okay, so what are we having to eat? And then off we went. He goes back to Florida. About a month later, I get in the mail a tube about yay so long. And I still have the picture. He went back down to Florida, recounted what he had been looking at and studying of this old guy with a pencil, mind you, drew this old guy, Mickey, to a T. Crow's feet, wrinkles, little bumps on his face, the wrinkles in his shirt and his coat, everything. I damn near had to put my finger under the nose to see if he was breathing, and he did it from memory. I can't draw myself out of a paper bag,
No.
and this
I
guy's
can do a
like,
stick figure.
dee, you know what I mean?
I don't know how people do that.
Oh, they just
Remember that guy who used to paint with the afro? And then
Bob
the
Ross,
strokes.
Happy Little Trees.
Happy little trees. Yeah,
Bob
that
Ross.
guy.
Used to love watching Bob Ross because he'd have a piece of canvas, and like 8 minutes later, it was like the Ponderosa out in Lake Tahoe. I'm like,
I'd watch him and go, I don't know how to do that. And I never will. It'll never happen.
My father turned me on to him. My father threw his back out one time. I was about 14 years old. We went bowling on Sunday. And Monday, he goes to pick the newspaper up, and goink, he was in bed for a week. Okay?
Oh.
So I come home from school, before Mother got home, and I'd be like, hey, Dad, what are you watching? Shh, hey, come in here. He was in bed, sitting up a little bit. He goes, look at this guy. He just goes back and forth with the brush, and all of a sudden, he's got a landscape.
He's got a forest.
And I was fascinated, man. I think Bob Ross is no longer with us either.
No, I don't think so. But you know who used to imitate him really well was Will Ferrell from Saturday Night Live.
Right.
He used to do a really good impression of him. Very, very good. Happy trees.
Happy little trees.
Yeah, I don't know how to draw. I don't know how to draw. I don't know how to color. I
But
don't
those
know how
guys
to paint.
from the old cartoons and comic books, legendary. And
Yeah.
then, like you say, they're all either gone. Mel Blanc's been gone. Gee,
Yeah, for a while.
Well, 2020,
Yeah.
almost 30 years.
Yeah.
And Noel Blanc, he filled in for him for a while. Did a darn fine job, his son. But then it's like, it's enough. He just no more. Either
Oh,
he
I
had
didn't
had
know.
him-
I didn't know that Noel left. I mean, I remember him taking his place, but I didn't
Yeah.
know that he was like gone.
No, he's around. He's
Oh.
not. He hasn't passed, but it's just
No, I mean, he stopped doing the
just-
voices.
Well,
Oh.
yeah. I mean, because there were other things came around, and he just, it's enough, And then there were new things, different things that came around. Pinky and the Brain, like on the
Pinky and the
WB
Brain.
network.
Oh, my. Yeah, I
brain,
remember that.
Brain, Pinky and the Brain. Yeah.
Oh.
One is a hero, and the other's insane.
Oh.
And there's all those guys have either retired or have died, and it's the good news is all those comics are still available, all the cartoons and animated features are still accessible on video, and with all the remastering, they look like they're brand new.
Now you can stream everything anyway.
I love it. I like that.
You don't need to watch it on DVD. You just stream it. Everything's
That's all.
streamable. It's pretty. I keep thinking I see a. There's like all these fruit flies at my work. I don't know where they come from.
The fruit.
And no, listen, these are like the most aggressive fruit flies. No, they're really aggressive. They're tiny and little, and you'd be like, oh, they're just little fruit flies. I don't know. I mean, I've been there like 3 months, and they've been there the whole time, and I don't understand where they're coming from. And they hit you in the face.
Oh.
They fly in your forehead. They fly in, and I constantly clapping to kill them, and I never can kill them. They're fast and they're aggressive,
Yeah.
but they're the size of nothing, and they don't die. I don't understand it. So as you're talking, I'm literally in the corner of my mind, I keep thinking I see a fruit fly, but I look and it's not there. So it's almost like they're tormenting me.
In absentia.
I'm